Greetings, children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd Scum here once again, and today I wanted to take just a few minutes to speak directly to my new subscribers, because here recently my channel has seen what is, for my channel, an unprecedented growth. In the last 3 months, I think my subscribership has doubled. So to all you guys who are here and are new, thank you very much for watching the channel, thank you very much for subscribing, and I know that a lot of you have been brought here because of Crossed, specifically, and if you're only here for Crossed, that's totally cool. I appreciate you, and I'm very happy to have you here, and definitely know that I've got plans. I've got another video that I'm in the process of editing. It's going to be coming out end of this week, beginning of next week, and then I've got a bunch more stuff planned about Crossed that'll be coming out here in the future. But if you are interested in some of the other stuff that I do on the channel, because I've had the channel now for 3-4 years, and in that time I've gone through multiple different phases of the channel, where sometimes it's just been me, sometimes it's been me with co-hosts. Actually, I've had 5 or 6 different co-hosts at varying times on the channel, and we've covered everything from weekly new comics that have been coming out to movies and television, pretty much everything except for video games, because as much as video games are a big part of culture and pop culture, they're never really been something that I've really been that invested in. But if you are interested in some of the other stuff that I've got here on the channel, I just wanted to let you guys know what that is, and also make it a little bit easier for you to find stuff you might be interested in. So first and foremost, because it's kind of one of the newest things, is I am, well, it's not a new thing in the sense of me doing it, but in terms of stuff here on the channel. So I've been probably off and on for about the last 10-15 years doing various things of filmmaking, mostly as a screenwriter and as an actor. Mind you, some of those things haven't been exactly good, but that's something that I'm actively working on. Specifically, though, here recently, a film that I wrote and co-starred in was produced and filmed, and we're in post-production of it right now. So I've got a playlist for that called the Vice Mayor's Playlist, and that playlist will be popping up in a card right now. And in order to make this easy for everybody to find stuff, I've been separating a lot of these things into these playlists. Some of them will have cards here, but the rest of them will be in the description below, and I'm still in the process of going through and making other playlists out of my videos, because again, in that 3-4 years, I've done over 500 videos, so it's taking me a little bit to get them organized. But yeah, so if you're interested in the most recent project that I've worked on, it would be Vice Mayors, which again I co-wrote and star in, and I made that with Little Spark Films, which is the group that I've been doing a lot of work with over the last couple of years. Beyond that, if you're interested in any of my other filmmaking adventures or things of that nature, I have this playlist, which is my Film Vault, which kind of has a mix of behind-the-scenes stuff for productions I've been a part of. Most of that shot and edited by me. There's also trailers for the different movies I've been in, as well as a couple of short films that I wrote and directed and starred in. Beyond that, if you're interested in movie stuff, but not necessarily stuff I've been in, I've got this playlist for you, where basically in this one I go through and it's just a big playlist of stuff that encompasses the entire time that my channel's been out, where I talk about different movies and television, do different reviews and discussions and things of that nature. Then another big part of the channel has been action figures. Now there's 2 different kinds of videos I do on action figures. I have a few that are just action figure reviews and things of that nature. And I don't necessarily have those ready for a playlist just yet, because a lot of those are from early on in my channel, and frankly, they're not very good, so I'm kind of considering going back and redoing those if that's something that people are interested in. But what I do have is the playlist of the custom action figures that I've been working on. And again, this is only about 5-6 videos, and most of them aren't too intensive, but it's just a few of the fun little kit bash customs that I've done. So yeah, like I said, guys, those are some playlists of some stuff that I've had, within the 4 years that the channel's been around. So if you're interested in any of those things, then I definitely highly recommend you go check them out. I've had a lot of really great co-hosts on the show. When I first started off, we had a show called What You Mean You Ain't Seen, where I showed 2 people, Logan and Bree, movies that I felt were like, how have you not seen that? But then, of course, as that show went on, they progressively became more and more movies that, a lot of people haven't seen those movies, but they're awesome. So you're getting my perspective as both a filmmaker and someone who's liked these movies for a long time, mixed with these two folks who have never seen these kind of movies before. And eventually I brought on Rosie, Vic, and Taylor. And they also did kind of parts of that show with me. There was also a time where we were going through and covering Cowboy Bebop episode by episode, but that did not get a lot of views, but I still feel that those are really strong, entertaining videos. And if there's an uptick in the viewership on that, then I can always go back and start covering those again. So yeah, there have been several different people who've helped me with the channel, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. But of course, YouTube being what YouTube is, the algorithm only now has really begun noticing me. So again, to all you guys who are here, who are new, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all coming and watching my material. Beyond that, I appreciate y'all being so kind and insightful in the comments, because back when I was doing like weekly comic book videos, holy crap, man. The comments I got on some of those videos were, let's call them unpleasant, you know? Which brings me nicely to kind of the last point that I want to make in this video, which is me as a creator. So, you know, every day when I get up, my goal is to try to put more positivity into the world than negativity, which I know is a strange thing for someone on YouTube who a lot of what I do is critiquing and giving bad reviews to things. But I find that even in those things, I usually try to give the movies or the books props where they've done something right and try to point out where they've gone wrong, because the truth of the matter is, most people don't set out to make something bad. Most people set out with an attempt to make something good that they believe in, and along the way, things just fall apart. As a filmmaker, I definitely know that. As I said, I've been in a few movies now, about 8 or 9, and a lot of them aren't really good. You know, but all those movies had people with the best intentions behind them. And the other part of, you know, me being me, that everyone should know if they're going to go back and look at some of my older videos. For the sake of transparency, I'm bipolar and unmedicated for the most part, because most of the medication that I took for bipolar made me a not pleasant person, very much so, even more so than being unmedicated. Now, I'm not one of those people who's totally against medication. I feel that like each individual person is different, and they all have different things that their psyche and their physiology requires. So for some people, they can find the right medicine and get on it, and it's very helpful and beneficial to them, and I commend them completely. For me, it was more a matter of finances and the fact that all the meds I would put on basically turned me into a monster, and I didn't really care for it very much. And over time, I've created a lot of safeguards against that for myself. So as you can see, the way that my room looks, I surround myself with things that I love, so it's very hard for me to stay in a bad bipolar state for too long. I've also learned how to focus my mind and my emotions to other places through meditation and other kind of like elaborate, I hate to use the term trigger, but like in the same way that someone can be negatively triggered, you can be positively triggered. And if you know your own psyche well enough, you can map out those things so that when you do realize that you're starting to slip into a unpleasant state, you can find ways to redirect your emotions and your mind. This is also something that being an actor has greatly helped me with, because as an actor, you do have to have a certain control of your emotional state, and those things have helped me greatly. Having said that, it doesn't always work. You know, I have my good days and I have my bad days like anybody else. Sometimes I'm kind and thoughtful and, you know, put my right foot forward, and other times I am just an unyielding, petty dickhead. It happens from time to time. So as you go back and look at some of my older material or go through my older comments, you might find some of that kind of stuff, and all I can really say about that is I'm sorry, because I'm not the kind of person who's going to go back and delete things that I said in order to make myself look better. I'm a very, very big believer in personal accountability. So yeah, like if I made a video where I said some stupid shit, as long as it's not something that you know, is damaging to another person, I'm gonna leave it up. And then if someone calls me on it, then that's a conversation that we can have. And the same thing in the comments. Especially, like I said, back in the day, I was kind of a dick to a lot of people who were very mean to me in the comments, especially when I was first starting my YouTube channel and wasn't familiar with the way that that tends to go, you know? And that kind of leads me into, I guess, the final thing that I want to say is that here on the channel, I give I give my opinions about things. I try to make those informed opinions. I try not to just talk out of my ass about stuff I don't know about, which is why mostly I talk about, filmmaking and comic books. And as you'll notice, when it comes to the comic book side of thing, more often than not, while I do talk about the art, I'll spend much more time talking about the writing of that book or movie or whatever it might be, because that's really where my knowledge lies more. But having said that, I am not always right about things. And furthermore, whether I feel like I'm right or not, it doesn't mean that you need to agree with me. Like, I'm not an arbiter of what is good or bad. Like, I'm giving my opinions, and if you disagree with me on something, then that's fine. Like, I'm not one of those people who feels like, well, you have to agree with me on every single thing or we are fucking enemies. Like, I don't play that shit. Like, people are too different, people are too diverse. Like, most of my best friends are people who I don't agree with on like 50% of stuff. And that's not just about comics, that's about like real world stuff that matters. But that doesn't mean that there has to be animosity. And if I have an opinion that you don't necessarily agree with, you are more than welcome to challenge that opinion as long as it's done in a respectful way in the comments. Now, if someone's being a dick nowadays, I tend to kind of try to just ignore it, because the worst thing you can do to someone who's trying to antagonize you is give them the attention they're looking for. But in general, yeah, if you disagree with me or think that I'm off base about something, I, encourage you to challenge that, because it's only through the conversation that we're going to have from me being challenged that I might see a different perspective, or I might notice something that I missed, because we all have our own bias. We're all biased to a certain degree based on our own development and background. So there are definitely things that when I read a book or watch a movie that I might miss over, but to you, it's something that's very personal and you have a larger insight into that. So I welcome those kind of comments. And again, most of you guys who are new to the channel, you guys have been awesome in the comments. So, I definitely look forward to those conversations coming here in the future. Anyway, guys, so yeah, like I said, a lot of new folks on the channel, and I just wanted to let you guys know all the kind of different stuff that I do here on the channel, and give y'all an easy way to go through it, and also give y'all a little bit more information about myself, so when you start going through those videos, if you start noticing some differences in my personality or my characteristics, those would be a little bit more understandable to you. But again, guys, I just want to say thank you all very, very much. The spike in visibility my channel has been absolutely awesome, and I am dedicating to making more quality content for you guys. So thank you guys very much. I hope you all have a good one. Nerd Scum, out.